Колеги, доброго ранку.
Good morning, dear colleagues. We start our working day from the joint briefing of a spokesperson for the anti-terrorist operation, Anatoliy Stelmakh, who is on Skype with us, and then there will be Vladyslav Seleznyov, who is the spokesman for the General Staff of Ukraine. Good morning. So what was happening over the last 24 hours in the east of Ukraine? Analyzing the last 24 hours, we have to note that adhering to the Minsk agreements, the forces of the anti-terrorist operation continue to withdraw the heavy artillery armaments from the demarcation line in the anti-terrorist operation zone. Yesterday, within the framework of the second stage, the self-propelled artillery cannons Acacia were relocated, and very soon, if the bandit formations adhere to peace agreements, then the third stage of the withdrawal of the artillery will start. The redeployment of heavy artillery takes place under the constant monitoring of the OSCE special mission and representatives of the world mass media of different countries. The Ukrainian military again demonstrate that they adhere fully to the agreements, and they expect this from the enemy side as well. At the same time, over the last 24 hours, the bandit formations, uncontrolled by anyone, with the aim to provoke the situation, continued the shelling of Ukrainian military. The militants have 40 times hit the anti-terrorist operation forces and peaceful residential settlements. The Donetsk sector remains the hottest, and Avdiivka, Opitne, and Pisky were shelled and fired at from different kinds of armaments. In Mariupol sector, the settlement of Shirokino was shelled from mortars and armored personal vehicles. And by midnight, the Ukrainian warriors have repelled the storm by the gunmen of this settlement. In Artemivsk district, the sector, the enemy shelled Leninsk, Lozove, and Mayorsk at 3 minutes past noon. The enemy used the multiple rocket launchers. Continuing, Vladyslav Seleznyov. Out of 40 shellings, 35 were directed at the positions of the anti-terrorist operation forces, and we can now see on the slides that 5 of them were in Luhansk sector, where they were firing at us from small firearms and shelling us from anti-aircraft artillery. In Donetsk sector, at almost midnight, next to the Troitsky settlement, they shelled our positions from mortars, and it was hottest next to the Donetsk airport, where the militants have 18 times opened fire from small firearms, mortars, and other kinds of armaments. So 18 shellings and firings here. In Artemivsk district sector, they have 6 times violated the conditions of the ceasefire next to Mayorsk, Kirov, Leninsk, Luhansk, and they shelled us from automated grenade launchers. In Mariupol sector, they have 3 times shelled and fired at our positions next to Shirokino. And as my colleague told you, at around midnight, for 90 minutes, there was a combat clash next to Shirokino settlement. The attack of the militants was repelled, and the anti-terrorist operation forces continue to hold off the attack of the enemy here. There's a question for Anatoly. Do we understand rightly that the militants shall not only the anti-terrorist operation forces positions, but also some settlements where there are no Ukrainian military? Yes, you're right. Over the last 24 hours, they have 5 times shelled and fired at Ukrainian settlements where there is no Ukrainian troops at all. Pisky, Shirokine, Kodyma, and Avdiivka. And the heaviest shelling was at 3 minutes past noon, when they hit the settlement Kodyma from multiple rocket launchers. Yesterday there was a information that another so-called humanitarian convoy entered the territory of Ukraine. Do you know what was in those trucks? And we know that there were 166 of them. Are they still on the territory of Ukraine? At the moment, this is operative information, and after it's been worked upon by our structures, we will make it public. At the moment, we're studying the situation. There's a question from Channel 5. Do we have statistics on victims among the peaceful population and the military? Yes, there is preliminary information that over the last 24 hours, Ukraine lost 1 military and another military serviceman got wounded. And at the moment, in the institutions of the public health system, almost 400 military are undergoing treatment. 17 of them were badly wounded. Okay, thank you very much. Pass on our best to the guys. We pray for them, and we'll talk to you tomorrow morning at 9. So your next briefing by Vladyslav Seleznyov and Anatoliy Stelmakh.